I don't know why I'm not seeing that. It's weird. Alright guys, give me just a second for those of you guys that came in. Alright, so now it's gonna tell us. I'm not sure why. Let's see. 안녕하세요. 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 That's weird. So I'm not seeing it on my. There it is. 안녕하세요, 퀸지니님. 퀸지니. Today we will be talking about this news report that I read today. I skimmed through it, so I want to take this time to read it with you guys. All right. We'll just stay at that. I don't think it's going to be that great. We'll just wait a little bit. I'll give you guys maybe 2 or 3 minutes for you guys to come in. I know I started a little late. 제가 오늘 좀 늦게 들어와서 시간을 조금 드릴게요. Today we're going to read this together and just talk about it. We're going to talk about what it's saying. We're going to talk about you guys' opinions on this particular topic. Okay? 퀸진이님 안녕하세요. How are you doing today? How was your day? How was your day? How was your day? How's your day? I hope the video is not so choppy. I really hope that you guys can see me and hear me well. 너무 바빴어요. Let's try and speak English or write in English. Can you tell me why you were so busy? Can you tell me why you were so busy? Or can you tell me what you were busy with? What were you busy with? Like, I was busy with blah blah blah, right? 새로운 직장에 적응하느라 힘든 중이에요. Okay. 화이팅 하시길 바랍니다. 화이팅 하시길 바랍니다. 짜요. It's really tough when you start working at a new environment. I think it's, I've had different jobs here and there, but I think I try to tell myself, James, give yourself at least 3 months before you start kind of commenting and judging what the workplace is like. 화이팅 하시길 바라겠습니다. 방금 들어오시는 분들, 여러분들 들어오신 분들을 위해서 말씀드릴게요. 오늘 CNN 같이 기사 읽어볼 거고 따라서 같이 읽어볼 거예요. 그리고 이 기사에 대해서 한번 이야기 나눠볼 거예요. Okay? So hopefully you guys can come in and, read this with me. I'm really looking forward to that. All right. I realized it's not. Consider turning down a video. Alright. 혹시 목소리 잘 들리나요? 이게 목소리랑 화면이랑 조금 좀 느린 것 같은데 어떤가요? 괜찮나요? I hope it's okay. I really hope it's okay because I don't know what else I can do here. I'm using my hotspot. I'm using kind of like a faster or a lower response time so I can still see your messages. And I know if I try and see your messages too quick, the quality goes down or something like that. I don't know exactly how this live thing works, but I'm still trying to figure it out, guys. I think the only way for me to be able to figure this out is by trial and error. So hopefully you guys can stick through. Hopefully you guys can stick through. 자, 바로 들어갈게요, 여러분. 같이 읽어볼게요. Alright? 이 제목 이름이 The title of this article is called Only 1/3 of young Koreans feel positive about or feel positively about marriage. Only 1/3 of young South Koreans feel positive about marriage. Okay, that's the name of the article. And then I know it's just choppy there. It's because of the ad. 광고 때문에 지금 중간에 끊겼는데 바로 들어갈게요. 여러분 이거 읽을 때 같이 읽었으면 좋겠어요. 오케이? 같이 읽었으면 좋겠어요. 그래서 제가 한 문장 읽고 잠시 쉴게요. 한 문단 읽고 잠시 쉴게요. 그 잠시 쉴 동안 여러분들이 한번 읽었으면 좋겠어요. 제가 항상 이야기하지만 영어 회화를 잘하려면 읽기도 같이 해줘야 돼요. 우리가 말을 그냥 막 내뱉는다고 해서 잘 되는 게 아니라, 그리고 제가 보기에는 여러분들 어느 정도 다 기본 회화는 하고 계시는 줄 저는 믿고 있습니다. 제 영상 보시는 분들은. 그래서 이제 그 다음 레벨로 가려면은 정말 그 다른 우리가 부족한 같이 한번 읽어볼게요. It's no secret young South Koreans are increasingly shunning marriage and parenthood. The country's steeply falling birth rate is clear evidence of that. Uh-oh. 죄송해요. I'm just messing with my my settings real quick. Okay. Did everybody follow along? 다 여러분 같이 읽었나요? 두 번째 읽을게요. But a new government report underlines how drastically that trend has accelerated over the past decade, spelling demographic trouble for the aging nation in the years ahead. But a new government report underlines how drastically that trend has accelerated over the past decade, spelling demographic trouble for the aging nation in the years ahead. The report, which surveys residents between the ages of 19 and 34 every 2 years, was released Monday by the official Statistics Korea. Okay. 여러분 제가 한번 읽고 여러분들 같이 한번 읽어봤으면 좋겠어요. 여러분들이 한번 읽어봤으면 좋겠습니다. Okay. 큰 소리로 따라서 읽어봤으면 좋겠습니다. The report, which surveys residents between the ages of 19 and 34 every 2 years, was released Monday by the official Statistics Korea. It found just 36.4 respondents polled last year said they had a positive perception of marriage, down from 56.5% in 2012. One more time, guys. One more time. 다시 한번 읽을게요. It found just 36.4% respondents polled last year said they had a positive perception of marriage, down from 56.5% in 2012. The fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans, including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. The fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans, including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. 여러분 방금 들어오시는 분들을 위해서 다시 한번 말씀드릴게요. 이거 읽으면서 제가 읽고 여러분들 한번 같이 따라 읽는 연습 하시면 좋을 것 같아요. 오케이? 제가 한번 읽고 여러분들도 같이 읽으면 좋을 것 같아요. 위에서부터 다시 한번 읽을 거예요. It's no secret. It's no secret. It's not a secret. So it's public. It's very open, right? Everybody knows. That's what that means. Everybody knows it. So young South Koreans are increasingly shunning marriage and parenthood. The country's steeply falling birth rate is clear evidence of that. Shunning. What is shunning? Can anybody tell me what shunning is? Shunning is to look down upon, is to really disapprove of, to disapprove, to refuse, to look badly upon. Right? So it's open. Everybody knows that young South Koreans shun marriage and parenthood, don't like marriage and parenthood. The country's steeply falling birth rate is clear evidence of that. But a new government report underlines how drastically that trend has accelerated over the past decade, spelling demographic trouble for the aging nation in the years ahead. The report, which surveys residents between ages of 19 and 34 every 2 years, was released Monday by the official Statistics Korea. Okay. So a new government report came out. And it's a report based on young adults from ages 19 and 34, and said that this report emphasizes the trend. It emphasizes the trend. And what is the trend? the trend is that people don't like marriage, right? A new government came out, a new government report came out that shows that this trend is being emphasized, being accelerated. 지금 여러분들을 위해서 요약을 해드리는 거예요. 제가 영어로 해석을 해드리는 거예요. 그래서 우리가 웬만해서는 영어를 할 때는 영어로 모든 것을 해야 돼요. 영어로 생각을 해보려고 노력을 하고 영어로 표현을 해보려고 노력을 해봐야 돼요. 우리가 이거 읽으면서 하나하나씩 It's no secret that young 이러면서 한국말로 번역을 해가면서 읽으려고 노력을 하면 물론 해석은 잘 되겠죠. 머릿속으로 입력은 잘 되겠지만 우리가 영어로 그러니까 영어로 표현을 해보려고 노력을 해봐야 되고 이 문장들을 읽어봤을 때 어떻게 하면 이 문장들을 영어로 표현할 수 있을까 한번 생각을 해봐야 돼요. 그래서 지금 제가 여러분들한테 드리는 거는 하나하나씩 읽고 해석해 드리는 게 아니에요. 그거는 고등학교 때 우리 중학교 때 하는 거고 이거는 읽으면서 영어로 paraphrasing, 영어로 이 문장들을 요약해 볼 수 있는 영어적 사고를 기르는 연습들이에요. 그래서 조금 어려우신 부분들도 굉장히 있을 겁니다. 왜냐하면은 내가 이거 어떻게 이거 읽는데 모르는 단어도 이렇게 많은데 내가 어떻게 그걸 또 영어로 바로 표현을 해. 당연히 어렵죠. 근데 일단은 제가 여러분들한테 요구하는 거는 같이 읽고 그리고 제가 요약해드리는 그러한 쉬운 문장들로 요약해드리는 문장들도 같이 한번 따라서 말해보는 거예요. 오케이? 그건 해보실 수 있죠? 자, 궁금하신 부분들 있으면 혹은 뭐 영어로 이거 좀 다시 해주세요. 아니면 요 발음 해주세요. 이런 것들 있으면 채팅에다 적어주시길 바랍니다. 웬만하면 영어로 적어주시길 바라고 한국말로 하셔도 큰 상관은 없어요. Alright, moving on. So we're on the fourth paragraph. I will read the fourth paragraph one more time. It found just 36.4% respondents polled last year said they had a positive perception of marriage, down from 56.5% in 2012. So notice how you guys can read this 2012 or you can say 2012. For me, I just say 2012. But if I were to read it out loud, I would say 2012. So 36.4% respondents. So these are people who took the survey. 36.4% of these adults said, marriage is good. 36.4% said marriage is good. And it's down from 56.5% in 2012. So 11 years ago, 50% of the people that were surveyed said marriage is good. But only 36.4% of the adults who surveyed said marriage is good. So we're looking at 20% decrease. Okay. All right. So let me see if this is all the chats. All chats. Okay. That's fine. All right. The fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans, including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. 이게 뭔 말이야? The fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans. including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. Right. So, 여러분들 다 같이 함께 읽어보시길 바랍니다. 큰 소리로. Okay. The fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans, including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. So I'm going to paraphrase this, and I'm going to say, economic hardships, difficulties pressured Koreans. Economic difficulties pressured Koreans to think marriage is bad. Now, I wouldn't paraphrase this in an actual essay. 이렇게 paraphrasing을 하진 않겠죠. 근데 여러분들한테 요약을 해드리는 겁니다. 자, 요약도 해석도 영어로 해드리는 거예요. 그래서 여러분들 잘 들어주시길 바랄게요. 자, 뭔 뜻이죠? 이렇게 해서 제가 한국말로 해석해드리진 않아요. 한국말로 해석해서 우리가 영어 회화를 늘 수가 없어요. 우리가 책을 읽고 영어를 한국말로 해석해가지고 이렇게 왔다 갔다 하려고 하면은 결국에는 우리가 영어 회화는 어느 정도 단계에서 막혀요. 그 단계를 넘을 수가 없어요. 자, 갑니다. In English, the fall reflects the growing pressures on young South Koreans, including economic concerns such as unaffordable housing and rising costs of living. Unaffordable housing. What is unaffordable housing? Unaffordable housing means houses are too expensive. Too expensive. Houses being too expensive and rising costs of living. What is rising costs of living? That means inflation, right? That's basically what inflation is. And you guys know what inflation. You guys have heard of that. Inflation. Rising costs of living. So, houses being too expensive and inflation led people to think that marriage is bad. Okay? That marriage and parenthood and having children are bad. Okay? So houses are too expensive and rising costs of living. So that also means rising costs of living also means prices are too expensive. You can say prices are too expensive, right? And rising cost of living, that's basically what inflation is. All right. So we'll move on. And again, for those of you guys that just came, 방금 들어오신 분들을 위해서 다시 한번 말씀드릴게요. 같이 읽습니다. 이거는 우리가 해석하려고 100%다 해석해서 이 단어 뜻을 외우려고 하는 것보다 같이 읽고 그 다음에 제가 쉬운 말로 요약을 해드릴 거예요. 영어로. 쉬운 말로 영어로 요약을 하면 그거를 따라해 보는 거예요. Right? That's what we're trying to do. All right, moving on. Common reasons cited in the report for young people not getting married include not having enough money for marriage and the feeling it's simply not necessary. Let's read again. Common reasons cited in the report for young people not getting married include not having enough money for marriage and the feeling it's simply not necessary. So basically what this is saying is the report asked, why do you not like marriage? The report asked, why do you not like marriage? Why do you not want to get married? Why do you not want to get married? Why don't you want to have kids? And the reason is that they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money. The reason is that they don't have enough money. And they think it's not necessary. It's not necessary. What is necessary? Not necessary means you don't need it. So they feel 냥팔자 가상팔자님. They feel that they don't need it. They feel like they don't need it. For example, like, hey, do you feel like you need that guitar? I feel like I need it because I play it. They feel like it's not necessary. It means the same thing. Not necessary and not needing it. It's basically the same thing, right? So if they feel like they don't need it, they feel like they don't need it. They feel like they don't need marriage. They feel like it's not necessary. Okay? 다시 한번 읽을 거예요. Let's read again. Common reasons cited in the report for young people not getting married include not having enough money for marriage and the feeling it's simply not necessary. Good. Yes. 냥판자가 가상팔자님. That's good. Sorry, I can't read your name very well. That's good. Practice, guys. Practice. The chat is for you guys. All right? And I want you to use it as much as you can. 여러분들 채팅창에 많이 적어주세요. 왜냐면은 여러분들이 적으면서 또 익힐 수 있는 그러한 기회가 있습니다. Okay? 자, let's move on. 다음 문단 읽어볼게요. 같이 따라 읽을게요. Read it out loud with me, guys. Read out loud. 큰 소리로. And among the third of respondents with a positive perception of marriage, results skew heavily toward men, with just 28% of women responding positively. What does that mean? 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Let's read again. And among the third of respondents with a positive perception of marriage, results skew heavily toward men. Among the third of the respondents with a positive perception of marriage, results skew heavily toward men, with just 28% of women responding positively. Okay. And then next paragraph, we'll read together. All right. There could be various reasons for this. Multiple South Korean women told CNN in 2019 they had safety concerns when it comes to dating, exacerbated by high-profile news stories about sex crimes, voyeurism, and gender discrimination. Yeah, what does this all mean? What does this mean? Honestly, I don't know. No, I do know it's very difficult. CNN is actually very difficult, guys. When it comes to stories about Korea, I read a lot. I read all the stories about Korea, but a lot of economic and political stories, it's actually very hard to follow. 여러분들 CNN에서 나오는 그러한 뭔가 자료들은 굉장히 어렵긴 어려워요. 어렵고 그리고 또한 회화로 정말 이게 굳이 회화로 연관이 되어 있나? 사실상은 여러분들한테는 많이 연관이 없을 수도 있어요. 연관성이 적을 수도 있어요. 그러나 이걸 왜 하냐면은 우리가 읽고 말을 할 수 있는 기회들을 제가 드리려고 이렇게 하는 거고 이거를 다 이해할 수는 없어요. 저도 사실 이 CNN 물론 한국 기사니까 저한테 와닿으니까 저는 이해할 수 있는 거지 어떠한 정치적인 혹은 뭐 경제적인 이야기를 제가 CNN에서 읽고 다 해석할 수는 없어요. 굉장히 어렵습니다. 그렇기 때문에 어려워도 여러분들 좀 참고 같이 가주셨으면 좋겠어요. 자, in English. So this means, and among the third of the respondents with a positive perception of marriage, results skew heavily toward men, with just 28% of women responding positively. So, earlier they said about 30% of the people said they want marriage. About 30% of the people said they want marriage. They said marriage is good. Now, in that group, only 28% of the women responded positively. So what that means is about 70% of the respondents who said it's positive were men. 이거는 어려우니까 한국말로 잠시 해드릴게요. 그러니까 여기에서 지금 세 번째 지금 end부터 맨 마지막까지 잠시 그냥 한국말로 잠깐 요약하자면 그 30% 조사한 연구 결과 안에서도 그 그룹 안에서도 거의 다 남성분들이 찬성을 하고 28%가 여성이었다. 그러니까 성차별이 굉장히 컸다라는 얘기예요. So there was a big difference. In who said marriage is good. Okay. So why? The question is why did only 28% of women respond positively? Why did 28% of women respond positively? Why did only 28% of women respond positively? So, there are a few reasons why people or women don't like to get married. There are a few reasons why women don't like to get married, according to the report, or actually according to CNN in 2019, right? According to CNN. Right? According to CNN, there are reasons why women don't like to get married. And what are those reasons? Can anybody tell me? Why don't women want to get married, according to CNN in 2019? Yes, okay. So Clarissa said, thank you, Clarissa. Clarissa says women think marriage could be a burden in some ways, such as having a baby and working at the same time. Very good. How about according to this article? 이 기사 혹은 CNN의 지금 2019년에 CNN 리포트에서 한번 조사를 한 그 결과 여성들이 결혼을 하고 싶지 않는 이유를 여기서 이야기를 했어요. There are reasons why women don't want to get married. According to CNN. 제 의견 아닙니다. 여러분의 의견 아닙니다. According to CNN. CNN 조사의 결과에 따르면. What is it? Why don't women want to get married? Yes, very good. 양판 자가상팔자님. It's because of sex crimes, voyeurism, and gender discrimination. Very good. According to CNN, right, in 2019. Also, there's another one, actually. That was very good, but on top of that, 추가로, on top of that, what else? There's one more. Korean women feel what? They feel there could be various reasons for this. Multiple South Korean women told CNN in 2019 they had safety concerns when it comes to dating, exacerbated by high-profile news stories about sex crimes, voyeurism, and gender discrimination. Voyeurism is watching others have sexual pleasure or pain. So it's the pleasure of watching other people. So it's like pornography, basically. Voyeurism is like pornography, and it's the pleasure of watching other people feel pain or feel excited. But in this particular case, they're referring to pornography. pornography가 야동입니다, 야동. So they feel threatened? Very good. So Clarissa says, right? Women feel threatened when it comes to dating. Women feel threatened. Women feel unsafe, not safe. Women feel unsafe and they feel threatened when it comes to dating. Exacerbated means to make worse. It's bad. Exacerbated by high-profile news stories. So it's because of the news stories, they feel bad, even more bad. The news stories make them feel more bad. So the sex crimes, they hear about the sex crimes, the voyeurism, this discrimination, make them feel worse. Worse. I hate marriage, right? And this is women, right? Women feel this way. Okay? So according to, not my opinion, not your opinion, according to, right? According to, or based on CNN, according to CNN, women feel unsafe. Women feel threatened when they are dating. And they don't feel good. They don't feel good because of the news about sex crimes, voyeurism, and gender discrimination. What is gender discrimination? Can anybody tell me what gender discrimination is? What is gender discrimination? What could be an example of gender discrimination? Right? What is gender discrimination, and what can be an example of gender discrimination? High profile news means it's well, first of all, it's really popular, and also second of all, it's like one of the headliners. The headliners means it's the first news on the page, right? That's high profile news, and also it's like very important news. What people think is important. Yeah. So Clarissa, that's actually correct. You said mean a main page, main on the portal page. Yes. So what is gender discrimination, and what can be an example of that? What is an example? What is an example of? Oops. What? What is an example of? Let's not do that. Let me go this way. What is an example of gender discrimination? Good, very good. Yeah, like somebody thinks one kind of gender is higher than another gender, right? Like men are paid more. Like men are paid more. Okay, that would be gender discrimination, right? Very good. All right, moving on. Okay, so 다음 거 읽겠습니다. Again, if you guys have questions, please ask, and please write in English. Women's advancements in education and the workplace also mean the opportunity cost of marriage is much higher for women now than in previous generations. By getting married, they may have to compromise on their career or education, especially given entrenched gender norms and difficulties re-entering work after childbirth, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. All right, again, they said according to, right? According to OECD, right? Women's advancements in education and workplace led them to think marriage is not necessary. Right? 같이 읽을게요, 여러분. 같이 이번에 한번 빨리 읽을게요. Women's advancements in education and the workplace also mean the opportunity cost of marriage is much higher for women now than in previous generations. By getting married, they may have to compromise on their career or education, especially given entrenched gender norms and difficulties re-entering work after childbirth, according to Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Right? So I hope you guys followed along. And read out loud with me. So this particular paragraph focuses on the opportunity cost of marriage. Opportunity cost of marriage is higher for women now. And it would be, and you're like, what is opportunity cost? I don't know. I don't know what opportunity cost of marriage is. But it's much higher now. Because what? Women are smarter. Women are more educated. Okay? Because women are more educated, they are smarter, and the opportunity cost of marriage is higher. Right? And by getting married, when they are married, they have to compromise on career or education. What does that mean? Compromise on career or education. That means they might have to, they might have to give up their career or education. Compromise in this situation means to give up. Give up. They might have to give up their career or education because they can't come back to work after childbirth. Okay? Again, let me summarize this for you. 여러분들을 위해서 이거 한번 요약해 드릴게요. Because women are smarter and more educated, the opportunity cost of marriage is higher. The opportunity cost of marriage is higher. And what is opportunity cost? Women might have to give up their career or their education because it's difficult to come back to work after childbirth. According to OECD, right? This is not my opinion. This is according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Okay? Let me know if you guys have questions, and we will keep going. That means many educated women with steady jobs are instead postponing marriage and parenthood. There's even a word, 비혼, that refers to women who choose to forego marriage. Attitudes among respondents toward childbirth are similarly dismissive. The Statistics Korea report found. Of those surveyed last year, more than half said they didn't see the need to have a child, even after marriage. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because it keeps continuing, but let's just talk about that. 중간에 끊기니까 여기서 잠시 멈출게요. Okay. All right. I'm going to read a little faster. 조금 더 빨리 한번 같이 읽어봐요. 좀 더 빨리. That means many educated women with steady jobs are instead postponing marriage and parenthood. There's even a word, 비혼. That refers to women who choose to forego marriage. Attitudes among respondents toward childbirth are similarly dismissive, the Statistics Korea report found. Of those surveyed last year, more than half said they didn't see the need to have a child, even after marriage. Okay. Okay, let me answer Clarissa's question. Okay. Is this different meaning from instead of? Um, so if you say instead, this is a grammatical question. 문법적인 질문입니다. If you say instead of postponing marriage and parenthood, okay, it won't make sense, right? That means many educated women with steady jobs. That's the subject. So A. Okay, so women. Women are instead postponing marriage. Women are instead postponing marriage. That's it. Women are instead postponing marriage. If you say instead of, it'll sound like this. Women are instead of postponing marriage. If you say instead of, you have to have something after that. Instead of라고 하면은 instead of A, B 둘 다 나와야 돼요. 그러니까 여기서 women are instead 그 대신에 postponing marriage, okay, and parenthood. I hope that answers your question. I can answer this specifically in terms of grammar, but I think that'll go away from this particular lesson. Okay, so you'd have to read it like this. Many educated women with steady jobs are instead postponing. Instead here is actually the adverb. Instead postponing. Instead postponing. Marriage and parenthood. Okay. What is postponing? Postponing is to delay. Procrastinate is to move it down the line. Move it further. Let's maybe like later, maybe next year. Or maybe 2 years. 2 years later, we'll get married. So women are delaying marriage. Okay. And there's a word called 비혼. And it refers to women who forego marriage. Women who do not have marriage. Okay. Forego is to go without, is to be without. So who choose to be without marriage. Who choose not to get married is 비혼. Okay. Who choose to not marry. So you can say people or women who choose not to marry are called 비혼. Okay. Attitudes among respondents toward childbirth are similarly dismissive. What does that mean? Dismissive. So, this particular paragraph is talking about marriage. Okay. And now the second paragraph is talking about childbirth. Okay. So when it comes to childbirth, people are also dismissive. Dismissive is kind of it's very similar to ignoring or neglecting. For example, let's say my student says, "Hey, can you review this essay? Can you review this essay?" And she texts me. And I said, "No, you can't. No, I'm not going to review your essay." That's being dismissive. That's ignoring or turning down something. Okay, it's turning down an essay, or it's ignoring or neglecting something. Okay, so attitudes are also very dismissive. Okay. Of those surveyed last year, more than half said they didn't see the need to have a child even after marriage. More than 50%. More than 50% said they thought children were unnecessary. They thought children were unnecessary. 아까 전에 기억나시죠? Unnecessary, didn't see the need, right? Didn't see the need, not don't need to, unnecessary. They didn't see the need. People thought children were unnecessary. People thought children were unnecessary, even after marriage. Okay? Moving on. All right, a rate that has been steadily rising since 2018. But in a shift from South Korea's typically conservative views, the idea of single parenting is gaining popularity. Nearly 40% of respondents said they could have a child without marriage, a departure from traditional norms in the country. While having a baby is very much expected of married couples in South Korea, much of society still frowns on single parents. IVF treatment is not offered to single women, official hospital figures show. Meanwhile, couples in non-traditional partnerships also face discrimination. South Korea does not recognize same-sex marriage, and regulations make it difficult for unwed couples to adopt. Okay. So, let's talk about the first paragraph. I will summarize this for you quickly because we're running out of time. 시간이 얼마 없어서 빨리 summarize 해드릴게요. 해석해드릴게요. 40% of the respondents said they could have a child without marriage, a departure from traditional norms in the country. Before, people thought you can't have a child without marriage, but now people think you can have a child without marriage. Okay, let's move on. While having a baby is very much expected of married couples in South Korea, much of society still frowns on single parents. The society, Korea, still frowns. This is frowning, right? This is frown. Korea does not like single parents. Korea doesn't like single parents. And Korea does not recognize same-sex marriage. What does that mean? Korea does not accept gay marriages. And it is difficult for unmarried couples. To adopt children. All right, moving on. We don't have much time, so if you guys have questions, let me know. But experts say authorities may need to change these attitudes, and fast, if they are to pull the country back from its looming demographic crisis. Okay. 같이 읽을게요. But experts say authorities may need to change these attitudes, and fast if they are to pull the country back from its looming demographic crisis. Last year, South Korea's fertility rate, already the world's lowest, fell to a record of 0.78. Not even half the 2.1 needed for a stable population and far below even that of Japan, 1.3, currently the world's grayest nation. Efforts to fix the problem so far have proved largely ineffective. The government has spent more than $200 billion over the past 16 years to encourage more people to have children, with little to show for it. Okay? So experts are saying, let me summarize this for you. Experts say Korea needs to make changes. Experts say. Experts. I don't know who experts are. I don't know. They didn't say it here. Who are the experts? Experts say Experts say Korea needs to make changes. Last year, Korea's fertility rate was very low. It was very low. 0.78 was the lowest, the world's lowest. Very, very low. The fertility rate is the rate of birth. Okay, the rate of childbirth. All right. So it's I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's one woman giving, or 0.78 women, okay, so less than one woman giving birth, okay, who are in the demographics of, I think, maybe like 18 to 35. So less than one woman are giving birth. So the fertility rate is very low in Korea, okay? And Japan is the world's grayest nation. Grayest nation means they have the oldest people, I think. I think that's what that means. All right? 확실하진 않아요. I'm not 100% sure. Efforts to fix the problem so far proved largely ineffective. Efforts to fix the problem proved largely ineffective. These efforts, or these tries, people were not successful. Okay, Korea was not successful. Korea spent a lot of money to encourage, to get people to have children, but Korea was very unsuccessful. Okay. 다 같이 한번 읽을게요. 맨 마지막. Efforts to fix the problem so far have proved largely ineffective. The government has spent more than $200 billion over the past 16 years to encourage more people to have children with little to show for it. Okay. 질문 받겠습니다. 시간이 얼마 없는데 질문 받을게요, 여러분. 한국말로 하셔도 되고, 왜냐면 영어로 적으라니까 영어로 많이 안 적으신 것 같고, 한국말로 적으시고, 질문하셔야 될 분들 질문하시고, 이거는 제가 다시 한번 말씀드리지만, 이런 연습들은 우리가 말을 할 수 있는 기회를 열어드리고, 그리고 또한, 제가 summarizing 해드리는 거를, 우리가 이러한 문장들이 있는데, 이런 식으로도 표현이 가능하구나, 라는 식으로 여러분들한테 공개해드리는 거고, 발음에 대한 굉장히 어떻게 보면은 좀, 그러한 뭔가 아픔을 갖고 있거나, 혹은 발음에 대한 좀 그러하신 분들이 있을 거예요. 그러면서 발음도 한번 고쳐보고 스스로 들어보고 하실 수 있는 기회를 드리는 거고, 오늘 좀 색다르게 했는데, 여러분들 썩 좋아할란지 저번에 그냥 프리 토킹 한 게 훨씬 더 반응이 좋았던 것 같은데, 이런 식으로 한 번씩 가끔 가다가 할 겁니다. 그리고 이 기사가 굉장히 따끈따끈한 기사예요. 오늘 오전에, 한국 시간으로 오전에 떴던 기사예요. 그래서 제가 오늘 읽고, 해보기로 한 거고, thanks for joining in, guys. If you guys don't have any questions, I think I'm gonna skedaddle out of here. If you guys have questions, also, I will stay and answer them. 낭팔자 가상팔자님, 와주셔서 감사드립니다. 아까 처음부터 오셔서 계속 꾸준히 있으셨죠? 기억하겠습니다. 다음에 또 할 겁니다. 다음 주에 할 거예요. Alright? What do you guys think, though? Let me ask you a question. I have about 5 minutes left before I need to go. 5분 정도 남았는데, what do you guys think about this? What is your opinion? Do you guys want to get married? And are you married? And if you are, do you have kids? Do you want to have kids? Do you not want to have kids? Do you not want to get married? 클라리스님, 클라리스님 와주셔서 감사드려요. 저번에도 많이 뵀었죠? 루이스 레이크님 안녕하세요. What do you guys think? I know that most of you guys actually have children, so some of you guys don't even, this doesn't really affect you guys, right? I usually do it at around 8 or 9. Okay, so it'll go from either 8 to 9 or 9 to 10, or in this case it was 9:30 to 10:30. So it'll be anywhere between 8 to 10. Okay, it depends on my other classes. It depends on my schedule, but it'll be around 8 to 10. Okay, and I'll also let you guys know ahead of time. I will let you know ahead of time. 제가 일찍 말씀드릴 거예요. 그래서 여러분들이 들어오실 수 있도록 그런 시간을 드릴게요. I will tell you a little bit ahead of time. Okay, so 낭팔자 가상팔자님, it says I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. Lewis Lake says, I have kids, but if I can get a time machine, I won't have it. I won't have them. That's so funny. If I get a time machine, I will choose to not have them, or I won't have them. That's so funny. I think because you're laughing, so I'm thinking that's a joke. I hope you're joking. Alright, so can I ask you, 낭팔자, 가상팔자님, can I ask you why? Why don't you want to have kids? Why don't you want to have kids? Why don't you want to have kids? Let me actually... Whoa! Oh no. Yikes. Excuse me, guys. So I just dropped my water bottle and it just splashed everywhere. I have to go. So actually, I'm not going to write that because I'm going to go clean this up. So you guys want to answer that? Anybody? Why you guys not want to have kids? Otherwise, I will head on out. I will sign off because I need to go clean the floor. I'll give you a little bit of time, but... Oh, that is a very, very interesting. That is a very interesting answer. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have enough money," and a lot of my friends will say that too. I'm afraid to teach them. Yeah, I'm afraid to teach them. I can see that. Yeah, it's hard to teach them. Yeah. Deep commitment for myself and my partner. It's a deep commitment. Yes. So you have to kind of commit a lot. Also, the article talk about the word compromise. It's a lot of compromise. I will have to compromise my work. Right? 아까 전에 기사 내용에서 compromise라는 단어가 나왔는데 compromise work and education이라고 그랬어요, right? Commitment, compromise. You might have to compromise on some of your work, right? These are all good answers. These are all very good answers. All right, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off here. All right, guys. I will see you guys again next time. Thanks for coming in and doing this with me. This is, I hope you guys can realize that this is something that is really important. Speaking and reading is very important. And I will see you guys next class. That'll be next week, okay? At around this time, okay? But I'll let you guys know a little bit ahead of time. All right?